Hi, everybody. I'm Lulu Freistad. I'm the co-founder and executive director of Smart Elections. And I am extremely sorry to announce that the lawsuit challenging the 2024 elections in Rockland County, New York, has been dismissed by the judge. And we wanted to let you know pretty much as soon as we found out. We just got the order today and reviewed it with our attorney. We just put a notice up on the website and then wanted to let people know. It is not unusual for these election cases to be dismissed, but we got a long way and we got a lot of information. We got a lot of discovery documents and we've learned a lot, and we've created and built a community that understands how important this is. And all of that came out of this lawsuit. So I don't want you to feel in any way that this is anything but a victory. I don't see it as anything but a victory. This is just one step, and there are many more to come. We are building an entire structure, an entire movement, so that we can have secure, fair, accurate, accessible, and transparent elections that we can all have confidence in and feel proud to participate in, and that we will have high participation in. I'm happy to take questions. The main thing that we want to let people know is that this is just the beginning, not the end at all. We have been around for a long time. I've actually been working on this issue of trying to reform U.S. elections for around 20 years. So I've been ahead of the curve on this, just because it was so clear to me as soon as I understood the security issues, how important it was. But we can do so much more together. And that's what this lawsuit was about. It was about generating a lot of attention on this issue, letting people know all of the problems that exist in our elections and how this particular case in Rockland County was almost a poster child for the problems. We want to really emphasize that we got a lot out of this court case. We got them to open up about the way that they test the actual voting systems with this hash check. And from the discovery documents that we got so far, it appeared that many of the voting machines were not actually getting tested with that hash check. We actually got access to their training manual and saw that the inspectors take the passwords to the voting machines home with them after their orientation. That's not demonstrating a good understanding of security protocols. And then we also did find out that the results at the state and the county level for the presidential election were not even the same. The state and the county actually have different results for the presidential race. And also just seeing how there was a lack of transparency, how they fought a recount tooth and nail and didn't want to be transparent, didn't want for people to watch the votes being counted. And that in and of itself is a problem. We want extremely transparent elections so that we can have high confidence in them. So these are things that really obviously are concerning. A question here, can you go for an appeal? We could go for an appeal, and our attorney said just to let people know that we are keeping our options open. We should probably just break down the decision a little bit. So basically, this is a decision that came down on standing. And I want to say very clearly in regard to this issue of standing, the reason we don't have standing is because the candidate and the other voters left the case. The reason that we believe that Diane Sare left the case, along with the two voters that were supporting her, we believe that she was intimidated into leaving the case. And the reason why I say that is because when we first filed the case, she was incredibly eager and enthusiastic and strong and positive and courageous, not only in her conversations with me, but there was a podcast that she did where she was almost laughing and excited about the fact that Rockland County Board of Elections was actually being taken to court. She was really excited about it. She was really motivated, and she was really strong in her desire to pursue justice in this case. And when she left the case, she called me, and her energy was completely different. She was almost in a panic. She was just very adamant that she didn't want to discuss anything, and she just said, I got to get out of this case immediately. I've got to get out of this case. And there was something so different about her energy and what she was communicating that I absolutely suspect that she was intimidated in some way into leaving the case. And that in and of itself would, of course, be illegal. And what it says is that it was important enough to somebody to pressure her to leave the case with the hopes that it would undermine the standing of the case as a whole, which in fact it did. Because what the case got dismissed on, keep in mind, was not the merits, not whether or not we deserved a hand count. We got dismissed because of standing, a lack of standing, and that's because Diane Sare, the candidate, and those voters left the case. I'm going to just go through the comments here. So sorry it was dismissed. Thank you. We really appreciate everything that people have done. I have to tell you that the amount of support that we received for this case has been tremendous, and it is incredibly, it's touching emotionally, but it's also really invigorating and made us understand that if we can explain to people these problems, there is an appetite to fix them. And so we really, really appreciate your support. So the next question for us really is, where do we want to put our resources, and where do we want you to put your resources? Because we know that we're fueled by you and your passion and the support and the donations that we've gotten. And so one of the things that we're encouraging you to do is to really transfer all that energy and all that hope that you had in the Rockland County lawsuit into future actions. And the most important thing right now is to protect the midterms. That's the most important future action. So I'm showing you now how to sign up for the Count the Vote program. So when you're on the front page, you're going to go down underneath the information about Rockland County. It says we're educating, organizing, and training nonpartisan volunteers how to protect elections, training now. And it's really important to emphasize that this is nonpartisan. We are nonpartisan, and we work with people across the political spectrum, because if we just build for one side or the other, as soon as that particular party loses power, those structures will crumble. But if we want to really build strong, honest, transparent, meaningful elections, we have to build them in a nonpartisan way, in a way that all sides agree is fair. So that's why we're nonpartisan. So you're going to go down past that section, and you're going to see sign up for online Count the Vote training now. And you click on that, and then that takes you to a form. And here is where you're going to sign up. You're going to need a Gmail address probably to fill out this form. And then it's just going to ask you for your name and where you are. And then some information about how much experience you have. If you have no experience whatsoever, do not worry about it. We are still delighted to have you work with us, and we will train you. And then you're going to just fill out that Google form, which is not too long, and you're going to hit submit. And that's how you're going to sign up for Count the Vote, which is our election verification program to protect the midterms. And we're going to be doing election verification all over the country in the midterms. We would like to be monitoring and protecting every single tight congressional race in the 2026 midterms, and also have the resources to go to court there if we need to go to court there. So we want to be careful with our resources, right? We want to make sure that we're focused on the future and not just looking backwards. And you can go to our website at smartelections.us, and you can sign up to participate. I personally have been observing the audits here in New York and have learned an immense amount. And just this last round that we looked at, we watched them actually fake a hand count audit in Brooklyn. And so those are the types of things that are so important for us to document. And again, if necessary, take to court or to make formal complaints about. And we need to do that all over the country. This is really a 50-state effort. We have to really transform our elections from the ground up. And so we really want to make sure that we're putting our resources in the right place. And we really, really hope that you will continue to donate and continue to support us. We are actually trying to raise $250,000 between now and the end of the year, because we actually estimate that to give real meaningful protection to all of the elections in the 2026 midterms is likely going to cost around $500,000. So that's why our goal is to raise $250,000 by the end of December, so that we can hire people and have people on board. This is going to involve project managers and data analysts and new hardware and travel and training and a lot of spreadsheets and a lot of resources. So when you're on the website, what you do is you just go to donate, and it's the first button there where it says donate, and that takes you to our PayPal sign. And this would literally take you about probably 2 minutes at most. You pick your amount, and we've had donations of all different amounts. We've had people donate $1, which we're tremendously grateful for. We recently had a donation of $7,000, which we're also immensely grateful for. So if we're going to reach that number, that $250,000, to really truly be in as many locations as possible, we are asking people to step up. If you can, if you have deep pockets, please do step up. And if all you have is $1, again, we are immensely grateful for that $1. Because honestly, one of the main things that's different now than 5 years ago when we first started this organization is that we've received so much more financial support, and that has allowed us to scale up. That allowed us to file the lawsuit, and that is allowing us to really plan a wide-scale action to protect the midterms. It's the donations. And so I'm just going to keep saying it. We welcome your donations. They are tax deductible. We are trying to raise $250,000 by the end of the year in order to protect the midterms. That's our message to you. I hope that you're going to continue to join us and be part of this movement. That's why we say this is just the beginning. Rockland County lawsuit was just the first shot across the bow. And I can't thank you enough what it means to me that you're all here feeling strong and, coming together through thick and through thin, right? We're all in it together, and it means so much to us. So thank you for everything that you're doing.